The 2025 season is over. How'd it go? You're probably watching the Bears game. Anyways, I don't know. Well, I'll talk about it for 45 minutes. You can hang out if you want to here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. I swear, Joey. I swear. Oh, that's a countdown. That's not even my fault. There you go. We're going to tap dance here because for some reason the countdown is not loaded. Joey, go into on-screen graphic effects. Over on that folder on the computer on the right side, Joey, click out of the downloads. Click the X out, and then click X out of the downloads. Nope, on the downloads. Yep, click X on that. X out of it. Nope, yep. There you go. All right, and on the desktop, there's on-screen GFX. On-screen GFX. There you go. Double click. Yeah. There you go. I mean, you'll find the countdown in there. I think. I hope. Yep, right there under join the chat. Yeah. And then put that in there. Yeah, put that in there. Yeah. No, just put it over me. Put it over me. Yeah, because you have it selected. There you go. Bye. Sox win 8-0. This is a delayed post game for honestly one of the Sox, if not best game. They went out with a bang. They win their 60th game of the year. Yes, we're celebrating that. And they do it with an absolute power outage or a power show, laser show from Miguel Vargas, Brooks Baldwin, and then Dominic Fletcher as well. But Shane Smith, nearly perfect. He allows the only hit the White Sox allowed today. Outside of that, they allowed one base runner. That was it. Just grand opening, grand closing. A very, very, very fun day for the White Sox. A very good kind of slam the door for Will Venable and his club. And we'll talk about all of 2025. We'll talk about Colson Montgomery's fun first two games against the Nationals. Shame we didn't have a post game on either of those. We'll talk about the expectations for next year. Takeover Z saying going for 70 wins next year. I think it's feasible. And then we will also talk about money and free agency. Let us know what you think. If you have any thoughts on the White Sox, offseason plan, I'm pretty much going to try to put together the first one tomorrow or Tuesday, whenever our first game is. We'll have off-season project plan 0.1 for CHGO White Sox. So if you have any thoughts, let us know in the comments. Appreciate seeing Ryan. Appreciate seeing Z. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Let's talk about today's game first. Sox win 8-0. They win the series against the Nationals. They lost on Saturday 6-5. They won on Friday 10-9. The game on Friday was absolutely absurd. Colson hits a ninth inning homer. He also went 3 for 3. He hit a ninth inning homer. Lenine went 3 for 3 on the day. But the ninth inning homer gave them the 10-9 lead. Nothing really stuck out pitching wise for the Sox. Yoendrys Gomez was Yoendrys Gomez. He went 6 innings. Nothing really stuck out besides Jordan Leisure stinking the bed. But obviously, Colson Montgomery with the massive home run, driving in Kyle Teel as well, who beat out a error at first base to get on to be the runner that ended up tying that game. And then yesterday, a great start from Sean Burke. He was opened by Tyler Gilbert. Burke, 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Attaboy, Sean Burke. A very nice job by Sean Burke. Joey, are you trying to hear the show? Yeah, we don't have headphones. That's a great thought. I wish you're probably like, oh, it'd be great to make sure the show's up and running. Yeah, we don't have headphones on this one, big boy. Good luck. We're just chatting about the White Sox here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Anyways, getting back to the point, Burke was phenomenal with his 10 Ks over 4 1/3 innings. But Wilson in a third of an inning gave up 2 earned. Isert in a third of an inning gave up an earned run as well. Vassell in an inning gave up an earned run, and that was where the Sox got beat. But Montgomery hit another homer in the 4th inning. Baldwin joined in on that as well. Baldwin hit another homer tonight. A very powerful weekend for the Sox. Lenyn Sosa finishes as your homer leader for the Sox with 22. So he leads the team in homers in 2025 with 22 homers. Colson finishes second with 21. Absolutely insane from Colson the way that he finished. Today he had what was it? Oh yeah, 1 for 4 today, but he also walked and he had a single which extended his hitting streak to 10 games. So he finishes with a 239 average on the year. He is the only player ever to hit 21 homers after the All-Star break with 0 career homers before then. Chris Kamka, who's now over at Marquee, but we'll always love him for his time on the White Sox broadcast, tweeted out this stat yesterday. Absolutely absurd for Colson Montgomery. Most home runs in a season with no homers at the All-Star break since 1933, the first All-Star game. Colson with 21 in 2025. Gary Sanchez in 2016 had 20. Adam Dunn in 2001 had 19. Aristides Aquino in 2019 had 19. And then Rhys Hoskins in 2017 had 18. And here's the thing. Gary Sanchez, catcher/DH. Adam Dunn, right field, left field, especially when as a rookie, but then first base DH. Aristides Aquino, left field, and then mainly DH, and then completely flailed out. And then Rhys Hoskins, first base. None of them are shortstops. This kid is absolutely blowing my mind. EV is saying, I wonder where they'll put the statue. They'll probably build it. What's that, Joey? I don't know if you know any Grecian lore. One of the there was a massive wonder of the world that was built 100 yards off of shore. And it kind of was the gatekeeper of one of the
like in the Aegean Sea? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, because they recently just unearthed a bunch of stuff there. They've been trucking it around all around the world in different art installation galleries and stuff.
It's the Colossal of Rhodes. Okay, so the Colossal of Rhodes was a statue of the Greek sun god Helios erected in the city of Rhodes on the Greek island of the same name by Charles Lindos in 280 BC. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient worlds, it was constructed to celebrate the successful defense of Rhodes city's attack against an attack by Demetrius I of Macedon, who besieged it for a year with a large army and navy. Colossus stood 70 cubits, or 33 meters, or 108. Hey, shout out to the 108 feet high, approximately 2/3 of the height of the modern Statue of Liberty, making it the tallest statue in the ancient world. It collapsed during the earthquake of 2026 BC, although parts were preserved, and it was built out on an island. So that's what I'm pretty much thinking is when the White Sox inevitably move to Soldier Field, with the Justin Ishbia money after the Bears move out to Arlington Heights, we will build the Colossus of Colson out in Lake Michigan. Thoughts?
Well, first of all, you're talking about my family. That was my cousin that you were just talking about, distant cousin, long range cousin. But you remember also the line in Sandlot? It's not the Colossus of Clout. It's the Colossus of Colson.
The Colossus of Colson. There you go. Truth Hurts Wilkie saying Montgomery played here in Jasper, Indiana. He will be exploited on breaking pitches. He couldn't hit my slider. Oh, I bet, Truth. I bet, buddy. How's that 12-pack of beer doing? Are we on number 9? Oh, we're nursing him today. Colson is hustling his ass off in the 9th inning in an 8-0 game to the point where I think he hurt himself. Why is the guy that is our star player in his final at bat of 2025 in an 8-0 game on an infield single to first base, trying to beat it out? And then, of course, when his foot hits the bag, he's like, ugh, he's limping his way back to home. At least he'll have months to recover, but Jesus Christ. What are we doing here? Of course, our precious Colson gets absolutely a classic White Sox injury. Knock on wood that he wasn't hurt too bad. All right, Joey, let's get to the main thing because let's talk about the importance of Colson. 2026 is all about Colson Montgomery. The reason the White Sox have hope is Colson Montgomery. I tweeted this back in I think March or May, because it wasn't this feeling that Colson Montgomery was going to be this. In June 16th of 2025, a 20-win jump from 2024 would be more than welcomed and needed. They made a 19-win jump. They won 60 games this year and will finish with the best odds for the number 1 pick in 2026. That's a successful season for Chris Getz. And I said, but they are still a 100-loss team, which they are, with no clear star developing. Hold up. I said, Vargas has been fun, which is true. He had a 17th homer of 2025. Didn't lead the team, but still, nice shot from Miguel Vargas. Schultz is intriguing, but not a position player, and now he's hurt. George Wilco has had a crazy June, but then he had a terrible July, and then an okay August, and a terrible September. He, wasn't really it. And then I said, Braden and Bonnemer is the hope. Before that, I also said, Colson is Colson. I said, Colson is Colson. I don't know what I mean by that. Because now when I say that, I say Colson is Colson. Colson is the guy. I haven't seen a player like this since my time here at CHGO. Joey, let's flash the proof, okay? This is the top B WAR since 2022 in a single season for a player. The best B WAR in a single season, Luis Robert, 5.3 WAR in 2023. Jose Abreu, 4.3 in 2022. The third best season in 2025, a 3.3 B WAR. He had the third best season since CHGO has been a company in 70 games. Fifth is Kyle Teal, by the way, with 2 WAR.
Shout out Sebi Zavala coming in at the top 20 mark there.
And that's what I'm trying to show, too, with all the orange. There's 20 names there. 9 of them. 9 of the 20 top seasons came in 2025. I understand it's a 60 and 102 record, but this is something to build on. Mydroth, 1.3 WAR. Caro, 1.3 WAR. Robert, who clearly he has 2 seasons better than this with 5.3 WAR and 2.2 WAR. He's coming in at 1.4 WAR. If he is healthy and gets to 145 games played like he did in 2023, we could see another 3 WAR season from him. Vargas 1.7 WAR, Talkman 1.9 WAR, Teal 2 WAR, Colson 3.3 WAR. Absurd. Absolutely absurd what we've seen, and this is 100% a building block of the future for the White Sox. You should be excited. I wasn't this excited back in June. I wasn't this excited on July 4th when he got called up. Even then, he had to go through an all-star break and then trying to turn on the Jets. And I've never seen somebody turn on the Jets like this. And you know what? Maybe he wasn't able to hit Grant Stratton back in Jasper, Indiana, but boy, he's hit 21 major league pitchers. I think 6 of them are lefties for home runs. He really, even at the end of the 10-game hitting streak, he kind of proved I'm not just a power hitter. I can flatten out my swing a little bit. I can hit more line drives. He started drawing walks more as well. A player that plays above average defense at shortstop with 120 OPS plus and over 20 homers is not a nobody. This is capital S something.
He also hasn't been sneaking them too. Sometimes young players will just get that home run in the first at bat or whatever. He's been hitting them late in games. He's been hitting them all over the place. Runners on, game tied, down a couple runs, up a couple runs. These just aren't. They're not empty stats. They're not empty home runs. They've been coming at really interesting points in the game.
They have been coming. I mean, the 20th was a game winner.
Right.
9th inning off a lefty. Let's go.
No, what was the one against Colorado too? I mean, he's come up with some huge clutch hits.
No, he's great. I'm not even we gotta ban this guy because who the hell is do you even know who Joe Carbonu is?
I'll be honest with you.
How many career homers does Joe Carbonu have? Dude, you absolutely deserve to get muted and put in a timeout for mentioning Joe Carbonu. Nobody cares. We're taking a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. If you can name nobodies like Grant Stratton and Joe Carbonu, let me know. We're talking about Colson Montgomery, a guy with over 20 homers in a major league season. We're getting excited about the 2026 White Sox here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Do you not have the screen wipe, Joe? Okay, well then go. Come on, let's click the desktop. Let's go find it on screen. Yeah, here it should be in there, right? Try Untitled. What's that untitled one? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Just play it, I guess. I don't know. Bye. The place to be betting football this season is at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Sign up using our code CHGO365. When you do and make your first bet of $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. Whether that $5 bet wins or loses, you could take the Bears money line. Right now it's 14-9. They may win, they may lose. You will get $200 in bonus bets no matter what with our code CHGO365. And they have a ton of offers on football throughout the season at Bet365. They have an early payout offer. You're a winner if your team goes up 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections. And then they also have offers on Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. So go check out. You could double your winnings on parlays with Bet365 100% parlay boost. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in app only. We also want to let you know about our friends over at RC Cola. It is the move of the winter. It was the move of the summer, but you missed out. So now that it's the move of the fall, you don't want to miss out. RC is the OG Cola. It is a OG Cola in the world of spineless. Soda used to have some kick, and now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz. That's not the case with our friends over at RC. RC Cola is not a soft drink. It's just damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RG is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. There's no trends, no gimmicks, and no glow-ups. RC hasn't changed its stripes since 1905 because it hasn't had to. And you know it could stand up to the bold flavor of Chicago pizza. What's in the fridge whenever you go to the best pizzerias in the city? It's RC Cola. Do yourself a favor, grab some RC at your local store. Stock up for all your end of summer parties, back to school celebrations, or if you're just watching the game. RC is the move for whatever you're doing, and check out RC Zero Sugar. It's very, 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 very good. All right, just real quick, we need to ban the guy that's chatting here because first of all, this guy's not named Grant Stratton because that's a name that's made up. I did look up Grant Stratton, baseball pitcher. He's only a guy from Wright State. He's from West Virginia and not from Jasper, Indiana. Also, you're bringing up Joe Charbonneau, who is from Belvedere, Illinois, and played in the 1980s and in 131 games, hit 23 homers, was the rookie of the year, but was also 25 years old. Not really the same exact prospect that Colson Montgomery is. Not the same age either. You're definitely not somebody that has played against Colson, and you're bringing up a real old head remark of, oh, he can't hit the curveball. I bet that guy's going to stink like Joe Charbonneau. So, Joey, let's give him the boot, okay? Thank you very much. Now I'm just interested, not like it was a question of, hey, is Colson good against fastballs? It's like, no, I got to make up a name to see. Colson against breaking balls, 290 batting average, 347 on base percentage, and a 609 slugging percentage. A 41 whiff percentage, but also, Joey, will you take a 290 batting average? Will you take a 609 slug?
I would even in 1982 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's when Joe Charbonneau... Who cares? Charbonneau's career ended. So anyways, back to the White Sox. Colson has been phenomenal. And you look at what they've done after the All-Star break. Now 28-36 and a run differential of +4. I know that this is, not a perfect science because it never works out this way. But the Pythagorean expectation calculator gives you the predicted win percentage if you just take the runs scored and runs allowed. The Sox, after the All-Star break, scored 315 runs. They allowed 312 runs. That's a .505 expected win-loss record. Obviously, their win-loss record in one-run games has been atrocious, disgusting, but also allowable because it's giving them the best percentage to get the number one pick. So if a lot of this offseason is them tweaking the bullpen and just trying to give them a better shot to close out games, I think 70 wins is fair. I think this team could take a larger jump if they were keeping Robert and then spending 30 to 40 million. We'll talk about Bruce Levine's report and how if they keep Robert, they can only spend around 10 million. I think that's going to be a real, thing holding them back.
Sticking point a little bit, sticking point.
It's the Scrappy-Doo collar. You know, you're just grabbing Scrappy Doo by his collar, and he's like, well, let me at him. You know, like I think a lot of White Sox fans have that Scrappy Doo energy where they're just trying to be like, see, we're a big program, we're a big school, we love winning baseball games. And then, you know, at the end of the day, it's just Jerry Reinsdorf taking his big finger and flicking them.
Yeah, I mean,
because like unfortunately that's the case. Like I think if you added to this team, got a number one starter, and then maybe went and got like the closer and spent around 50 to 80 million, which isn't even that crazy.
I was even going to say, I think you could get that done by spending like 30 or 40, which would only bring your payroll to maybe around 120.
I mean, like guys like Fried make like 30 a year.
I was going to say, but no, I was just going to say, like, let's just, I'm not saying we sign this player, but if you got a Kyle Finnegan type for about $7 million, who could possibly be your closer. He just signed a deal for
like Kyle Finnegan
because he signed a 1-year deal for $8 million, and he picked up like over 25 plus saves. So I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be shopping for somewhere in the middle of the market, that's a pretty good number. Like Ryan Presley made $10 million. You're telling me you can't find someone in the $6 to $8 million range to close games for you next year? And then if you add on a couple of other players, if you added $30 or $40 million to the payroll, I think you could improve this team incrementally, maybe not like blow the doors off.
Well, but I think also too, like you don't necessarily need to get like maybe even a closer too. Like Finnegan doesn't really move me. I was thinking Devin Williams. Like, come on, I'm going out spending money. I want a Gucci purse.
So Devin Williams is more like,
I don't know why I said purse, but
Devin Williams is more like 12, right? Devin Williams is more like $12 million a year. Or do you think that would cost more? He's more of a 15, 16 guy closer to Josh Hader.
I have to look up, what Edwin Diaz, because Diaz is the most expensive contract, right? As for a closer, but it's like 5,102.
Yeah,
I know Williams
Hader's really close.
Williams' numbers aren't that good, but he's still like his FIP is phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, I'd give Williams. He's 30. But yeah, I'd give him. He's too expensive.
Right.
I think his number may be around be like 15 million. But like, do I want the White Sox to spend like, half of their budget on a closer? No, I don't.
No.
If they're going to be spending 30 million, I don't want them spending 15 on Williams, and it might even be more than that.
No, and hopefully, like in theory, that they would find that closer in house. Eventually, and it could be Grant Taylor.
I think that's going to be the option.
Right. That's quite possible. I guess like the thing that I kind of blanch at is that I understand that they're not trying to spend a ton of money, but like unless they get rid of Roberts' $20 million, they can't spend another 10. Like you do eventually have to incrementally increase the payroll on this team. What was their payroll this year? 80 something million? 80-ish?
Probably that's what it ended up being. It was around like 65 opening day. You probably have added 15 million or so.
So if you had a 5-year plan, wouldn't the idea kind of be to like maybe get to 100, 110, and then a couple more years get to 130, 140, and then maybe when you're ready, maybe then you get back to that 180 that they were spending in 19 and 20.
But do you not remember our conversation with the executive vice president, chief revenue officer, and marketing officer Brooks Boyer of the Chicago White Sox?
I do.
Where he said that part of this is them launching their new network and not having that money being sent over to them for NBC to broadcast their games. Part of the reason they were able to get to the 180 million number is because they had NBC paying money. And if they're not being able to sell out their stadium, and if their TV isn't being brought up by successful Bulls play, successful Blackhawks play, successful Sox play, then there really isn't money to put into the team. So it's again
just
Scrappy
Doo, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm revving up. Let me at him. And I still can't get him. Fat hipster saying fire Boyer, which I don't know if that solves the issue. I think also Brooks has been attached to Jerry since 1994 when Brooks was an intern with the Bulls. He's spent over 30 years, 40, 30 years? I don't know how to do math. 30 years with the Reinsdorf family. Like, if Brooks was to leave the White Sox, he's likely just going to the Bulls. And if he's leaving the White Sox, it's likely when Ishbia takes over and Ishbia possibly clears house out. And even then, Michael Reinsdorf would likely just take Brooks to the Bulls.
Well, he deserves a lot of credit, though, too, as well, for the ballpark experience, which is still an elite experience.
Yeah. If it's an elite experience, I think it would draw more people. Like, I think elite experience is, Rockies fans having 40,000 people there every single night, not because it's a baseball, but because it's Denver's largest bar, right? Like if they had Chicago's largest bar feel, sure, but it's not really that. They have great food, but I don't really know if they've wrapped that up as, you know, being that great of an experience. It's fine.
It's a great counterpoint. I do think it's a really great ballpark experience. Just in the 10 or 12 ballparks I've ever been to, I do think it's above average 100%. And maybe there is something in the calculus of this is the third rebuild cycle that they've gone through in about 15 years. And White Sox fans are a little worn down, man. And that's another part of it too that has nothing to do with what the White Sox like marketing campaign does.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Brooks Boyer. Like,
right.
It has nothing to do with Brooks Boyer. It has nothing to do with the ballpark. You can have that ballpark for another 80 years. What matters are the players on the field. And it feels like the players on the field are getting good. I think that they might want to take one more year to figure out which players are good and which players aren't. Is Lenin Sosa a guy? Is Miguel Vargas a guy? Is Chase Meidroth our guy at second base? I think it's more defining, you know, what Colson will be. Will he be a shortstop? Will he move over to third base? Do you want to give him time at third base next year? Like, it's going to be more figuring out stuff. So that's why when Z, I think up here, like way early in the chat, mentioned 70 wins, I think that's a fair expectation. I think what I said was around 71 to 75 wins. So I think that's what we should be expecting from the Sox, like another 11 to 15 win game improvement. But if they're not going out and spending the money that they should be, they're still probably going to be playing somebody subpar at either third base or first base. They're probably going to be playing somebody subpar in left field, Andrew Benintendi, and right field, whether that be Mike Tauchman, Austin Slater, both. Won't be Michael A. Taylor. Tip of the hat to Michael A. Taylor, who is retired after this game. The not diving in New York makes a lot of sense now. You remember that? A fly ball right to Michael A. Taylor, and, you know, he doesn't have a chance to throw out Aaron Judge at home, but he decides to try to throw out Aaron Judge at home. If he runs a little bit faster and lies out and dives for the ball and it gets behind him, is anyone really mad at him? No, he made an effort. So, like, I think that...
Is a dislocated shoulder not a good parting gift?
I think he made a
when you
business
retire.
decision.
Yeah.
I think Michael A. Taylor said, I knew months ago I'm done after this year, and I'm not going to be diving for this ball because there's 6 games left. He did what I wanted Colson to do today. You know, it's the 9th inning. You're up 8-0. Just walk. But hey, Will Venable has him hustling, okay? But yeah, no, I think that 71 and I think what are the numbers exactly that I ended up having? 71 and 91 or 75 and 87. I think that's a fair expectation. John's asking, what grades are we giving this season? He feels like a C+. I'll give him a B- to a B. I wanted them to get the best odds for the number 1 pick. They got the best odds for the number 1 pick. Or, you know, like they didn't get up the number 1 pick. There is no ability to actually secure that. So at the end of the day, to give your team the best odds, that was what was most important. This was a rebuilding year. And the fact that you got Colson and you defined a possible star, I'm very, very excited about this team. I'd give them a B. Also on the fact that, you know, I'm not a fan of them trading away Crochet. I thought that keeping Crochet would have been a very, very smart move. I thought extending him would have been a very, very smart move. The $175 million contract Boston gave him looks like a steal already. But the fact that you see Kyle Teal giving you 2 WAR, Caro giving you 1.5 WAR or whatever it is, Meidroth giving you 1.3 WAR, Wiekman possibly looking like a bullpen option, whether to start the year next year or later on in the year. It feels like that trade isn't a win, but they got enough out of it. So I'd give them a B because expectations were so low. I was expecting 111 losses. We got 102, right? You got a 19 or 101. So you got a 20 game. No. Yes. Joey. No. Yeah. 102. Yeah. It's the 60 and 102. You're my math guy.
Yeah. 19
game win improvement. I think that's pretty decent. Randy says to me, I would give the White Sox a B. It's obviously not what we've wanted. Somebody was like, oh, you're celebrating 60 wins. And it's not like I'm celebrating 60 wins. I'm celebrating that they made a 19-win improvement. Is this where I want my baseball team to be? No, but it's not 2024. And I think it's at least fair enough to say, hey, Will Venable, Chris Getz, and these players made enough of an effort to make that 20-win improvement. for you to still, as a fan, want Jerry Reinsdorf to spend more money and to put the pedal to the metal and be a real organization, that's completely fair. But I also think it's a different conversation, because what we saw from Rick Hahn and Jerry Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams and Jerry Reinsdorf was the issue of, hey, we need more money to make this work. Chris Getz knows he's dealing with a limited amount of money, but also if Jerry Reinsdorf was like, hey, I'll give you $30 to $40 more million to spend on free agents next year, I think that'd be welcome from Chris Getz. We'll talk about this more after the break. We got about 15 more minutes in the White Sox. If you have any thoughts, jump in the chat. We'll be back after this 2-minute break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast presented by Bet365. We want to let you know about our friends over at Ray Chevrolet. Ray in Fox Lake is slashing prices on new cars and giving you big savings all month long. Come in today to shop the model year-end sales event and drive home with employee pricing on every new Chevrolet model. You can get $3,000 to $11,000 off MSRP, or you could check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest inventories, Chevy inventories, you'll be sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive. And with Race Price Promise, the price you see is the price you pay. No add-ons, no hassle. Just go in and buy a car the way it should be. And don't miss out on their model year-end sales event going on all month long for employee pricing on every new Chevrolet model. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Game Time. The place to buy Major League Baseball tickets is Game Time. At least for the White Sox, the season's over. But there's Bears. There's going to be Bulls. There's going to be Blackhawks. There's preseason. There's regular season. Hopefully there's postseasons for some of these teams. There's also concerts. There's also plays. Whatever you're looking to do in the city of Chicago, Game Time gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use as well. And the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 110% authentic tickets on time and for the best price. I thought confusing the Game Time guarantee, that's 110% of the difference. You do get 100% authentic tickets. 110% authentic tickets doesn't make any sense. Plus, fees are always included, so you see what you see is what you pay. And I love Game Time because the closer you wait to game time or curtain time, the lower the prices are. Game Time is a hack for fans. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Use code CHGO for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. CHGO White Sox post-game show presented to you by Bet365. We were hanging out talking about the end of the 2025 White Sox season. Fat Hipster in the chat saying the expected win-loss percentage was 71 and 91, which, again, that's the Pythagorean theorem, or Pythagorean expected win-loss record that I used earlier, that the runs scored post All-Star break 315 against the runs allowed 312 would give them a 505 expected win-loss percentage. So Fat Hipster saying that this year, the entire year, the expected win-loss record was 71 and 91. He also adds on that you can say a huge improvement, but you can also say they lost too many games that they should have won. Absolutely. And again, that is defined in the one-run games that they go, what, like 7 and 24 on? I'll find the end record now. But it also is part of a ton of blowouts. Credit to BZ for this as well. The reason it's so kind of weird is when the Sox lost, they lost. When the Sox won, they won. It was like today, like 8-0. There was never like, oh, the Sox win a very easy 5-3 game, or like they battled that 5-3 victory out. It was like the greatest baseball game you've ever seen, or hellacious baseball. The final one-loss record for the Sox was 15 and 36, which, holy hell. Like 29% win-loss record. Let's go to 2022 where they go 81 and 81 to kind of get an idea of like what a team that goes 500 does in a season like that. Because again, that is utterly ridiculous to go 15 and 36 in one-run games. That team, the 2022 team, 27 and 16 in one-run games. So, if they're able to flip that number, and if they go 36 and 15, I think that is like a true, like, 90 win team. So if they could go 24 and 24 or so, 23 and 25 in one-run games. I think that number, that win number, is probably in the 70s. I think that very easily this team could be somewhat respectable. I think that they're going to try to be the San Francisco Giants of the Midwest. Go look at what the Giants have done pretty much since 2018. It's all 70 win seasons. Maybe they get to like 81, and then there's the random 107 games they won. I think they're trying to be the Cleveland of San Francisco of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, San Francisco is trying to be Cleveland, and now the White Sox are trying to be San Francisco, who's trying to be Cleveland. Does that make sense? They're not trying to be Cleveland because other teams have tried to be Cleveland. So if they're trying to be a copy of a team that's trying to be Cleveland, then I think they're trying to be San Francisco. And it's pre-Buster Posey San Francisco. It's Fareem Zahadi. I forget. Farhan Zahadi?
Well, it's also like kind of like playing around the margins a little bit, and then like they're quote unquote like they're in on Aaron Judge. They're in on so-and-so. They don't land the big fish, and then eventually they do hand out a big contract to Willie Adames. Mm-hmm. It eventually does happen in the Giants mold of wanting to be like the Giants, who want to be like the Guardians. But no one can be the Guardians. Not even the Detroit Tigers.
The Guardians.
The Detroit Tigers.
What a mess that was. Ryan asking in the chat, what you're saying is the Sox will win 100 games next season. Pretty much. What I'm actually saying, I think I put an official prediction down when Katie was producing. I think it was 70 and 92. I will change that now to 72 and 90.
70 and 92, I believe, is the record of the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. So that's kind of like where you would be at. Which, honestly, if you look at the Pittsburgh Pirates,
better than the Pirates. Like, the Pirates didn't spend any money, which the White Sox will likely spend no money.
They have a better.
The White Sox can spend money smarter than the Pirates can.
Yeah, and they scratched off a lottery ticket with Skeens. Yeah, I mean, I love Jared Jones. I love a lot of the guys they have coming up. And let's see if Bubba Chandler is like worth it or whatever. But I mean, they have a walking lottery ticket with Paul Skeens. The White Sox just simply don't have that type of player yet.
I don't know, man. They got Colson Montgomery shortstop that's hitting 22 damn home runs from the shortstop position. Can you flash that screening again? I just want to look at this. I still cannot believe that since CHGO has started, that Colson Montgomery is the third best White Sox. With the fourth fewest games played on this list, I see a 35, 61, and a 43. Yeah.
So the fourth fewest games.
And he had
279 plate appearances.
131 OPS plus, which if you look at the top hitters, like that's the also what the Aloy had a better OPS plus in 2022. Abreu had a better OPS plus in 2022. Colson is the third best OPS plus since 2022.
The only one I would say is that if you were to extrapolate out the 2020 season of Jose Abreu, maybe that one also gets pretty high up on the list. But other than that,
wait, huh?
The 2020 season of Jose Abreu.
Oh yeah. But I'm just talking about 2022 since
I know.
CHGO started.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you.
I mean, like, but that is like the comparable like run, right? I mean, his 71 games is similar to what Abreu did in that MVP year. No, absolutely. I get what you're saying on that. So just absurd. What also was absurd from today, and who is absolutely a part of the team next year, is Shane Smith. Chris Getz and the White Sox deserve a ton of flowers for this pick. And the fact that he was able to finish off the year like this just puts the seal on the deal. There was even some chatter in our Discord where, people aren't really that gung ho about Shane Smith. And now he finishes the year with a 3.81 ERA. It's not elite, but he's a Rule 5 pick. Threw 6 2/3 innings of AAA ball in his life. He threw 10 1/3 innings at Wake Forest. And then the Brewers, who are notably pinchy, picked Chad Patrick over Shane Smith to be on this team. And the White Sox got a complete gift. And the fact that he's able to give you a 3.81 ERA, being an all-star, and I think he finishes now with 146 innings pitched, surpassing his career high by, I believe, like 30 to 40 to 50 innings. I think his career high was 94. So, Joey, what's 46 minus Bears win? Oh, yeah, no, I saw. It's playing behind you. Are they housing it too? Oh, they're housing it. Hell yeah. Let's go. Bears. Anyways.
We got something going right in this town.
Bang. Anyways. No, Shane was fantastic. His career high was 94 to third. So what's 146 minus 94? Like that's
146 minus 94 is 52.
Yeah, 52 innings. He increased his career high in innings pitched by 52. Like, this is crochet-ish. It's not. I don't think Shane Smith's going to be a top 5 or Cy Young finisher next year, but if.
Well, look at the way he
finished top 10.
Look at the way he finished the year. Look at the way he finished
Right.
today, right? I mean, this isn't about like a guy like
6
pulling
innings.
into the garage with like 3 wheels and a busted door. You know what I'm saying? He
yeah.
had a perfecto through 5.
They took him out because he stopped being perfect.
Whoops.
And there's obviously some bombs in there. There's the Baltimore game, 4 to third, where he allows 6 earned runs. There's the bomb against Detroit, 5 innings, where he allows 4 earned runs. There's the bomb against Atlanta, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. There's another bomb against the Angels in early August, 4 earned runs and 4 1/3. But there's also 5 innings of 2 earned runs. There's 5 innings of no earned runs. There's 7 innings of no earned runs. There's 5 2/3 of no earned runs. There's 5 innings of 1 earned run. There's 6 innings of 0 earned runs. I don't know about if he's our future ace pitcher, Randy, but you need 3 pitchers at least to get through the first series of a playoff. And he is one of our 3 guys, right? He is a steal of a Rule 5 pick. Colson and Shane Smith kind of stepping forward and giving the Sox hope outside of the 19-win improvement is huge. And massive congratulations to Will Venable. I think when we talked about him being hired, a little bit of this was him choosing his spot. And I think a lot of people were like, why would you choose the White Sox? I think this shows you why. Obvious belief in Barfield, Getz, Bannister, Gene Watson, Jin Wong, the entire front office, and the idea that we are going to try to empower these players. Because at the end of the day, managers really don't matter. If you think Will Venable made bad bullpen decisions, I would like you to maneuver your way through a bullpen full of Tyler Gilberts, Tyler Alexander, Brandon Eiserts, Jordan Leisures, and Grant Taylors. It is an impossible task. If you gave him Cadillacs, it would drive like a Cadillac. If you give him sticks and stones, it will drive like a Flintstones car. I think that Venable showed everything that you want to see for a lifetime manager. Dave Roberts, lifetime manager. He's been there for 10 plus years. Aaron Boone, lifetime manager. He's been there for 10 years. Alex Cora would have been there for 10 plus years, but he was cheating with Apple wristwatches, so he got canned, but he's back, right?
AJ Hinch also probably could have stuck around in Houston for a long time.
AJ Hinch, but AJ Hinch is probably a lifetime manager at Detroit. Rocco Baldelli, Kevin Cash. Like, I think that they found a lifetime manager. I think that this is Will Venable's spot that he wants to sit down for 10 to 15 years. Let's see what he can do, because I think he's got the right temperament, determination, smarts, everything to do this job.
The reason why I brought up AJ Hinch was, I think if Sox fans want to try and draw a bit of a parallel, AJ was brought on when the Astros were terrible, right? He was a part of those 100 lost seasons. And then as the core of that team got better and developed and they got good, it turned into his show. And then it turned into a culture and philosophy. Now that culture in Houston, we can go through and delineate what was right and what was wrong with the trash can thing. But that's what could possibly be building with Will Venable, is that if the players are responding to him, and it isn't about him, it is about, when we talk about development, it's about day in and day out, just trying to create a professional atmosphere, trying to keep the communication very clean, and let these guys go out there and let their God-given skills hopefully develop and become something that turns into long-term Major League Baseball players. If Will Venable can just create that culture, when and if the White Sox get good, it will be the Will Venable show. And once that happens, then tack on, like you said, 5 or 8 more years on top of it, because he was the guy that built that said culture. He was the guy that built that foundation.
I want to pick at it a little bit, because it's not the Will Venable show, because managers don't matter. It's not the Dave Roberts show in the Dodgers. It's the Shohei Ohtani show.
Okay,
you know
but they're not replacing Dave Roberts.
What the point? Well, but the point is you want your manager to blend into the background. And the only place these lifetime managers don't blend into the background is Aaron Boone in New York. And at the end of the day, they could swallow.
He got ejected today, I think.
Right, probably. You know,
It's the
but
last
like
game of the season.
yeah, well, he's probably upset they're not going to win the AL East. But even then, like, the only reason why those people are foaming at the mouth to fire Aaron Boone is because they're idiotic New Yorkers. Like, most of the time, managers need to blend in and let the stars be the stars, not let anything get out of hand. And those lifetime managers do that. I think Will Venable is going to be a guy that can be a chameleon, whether he's wearing a black jersey, whether he's wearing a gray jersey, a white jersey, you know, with the pinstripes, whatever it is, he's going to blend in as a part of that dugout. He's not really going to stand out. He's going to be at the top of the steps high-fiving, but it's about the players on the field. I have not had to talk about Will Venable and his decisions this entire year because they don't matter, because when the team's playing well, they play well and win games. When the team's losing, it's because the players suck. When they have a 15-36 record in one-run games, it's because he's putting Tyler Alexander out there and has no choice to. So at the end of the day, they have a manager. Everything I want in a manager. Just blend in and be there. Terry Francona, I forgot he was even in Cincinnati. Now they're in the playoffs.
He's still wearing red. No, look, man.
You know?
You're what you're doing is you're phrasing. I think we're in agreement, but you're doing a better, eloquent way of phrasing it in terms of the blending into the background. If I could further that metaphor, though, you know what else blends into the background? Like the foundation of a house. And the players are the cool furniture and the amazing wallpaper and the paintings hung on the walls and the 80-inch screen TV. And you go over there to hang out with the furniture and the TV and stuff. You don't go over there to hang out with the roof or the studs or the 2x4s behind the insulation, right? And maybe that's where the metaphor is coming into play of like, yeah, no one's going over there and being like, wow, look at Will Venable. It's like, wow, look at these players. But he's creating a stable force for that to flourish and continue to move forward, and that's stabilizing.
Right, and when you went over to Pedro Grifol's house, like here's
no.
here's the wall, and then here's the actual foundation. It's like bubbling, you know? Yeah, no, I hear you on that one.
Remember when his house was hit by lightning, or like?
Remember when the foundation one day just got flushed down the toilet? Anyways, that's gonna do it here on the CHGO White Sox show. I just want to let Garrett Carlston know that the Bears show will go on even if I'm still talking. I wish I could flip you off. Honestly, I don't matter. I was delayed. The Bears are going to be on.
Garrett
Carlston. So annoying.
Garrett Carlston sounds a lot like Grant Stratton
right now. They don't even need Studio B or Studio A. They're all the way at Circa, or I think we're at the Luxor, or where are we at? We're at the Venetian. They're in Vegas. They're going to talk about the Bears in a second. They got to get their stuff ready. Bye. Enjoy the Bears show whenever that starts. We'll be back with a White Sox show, I believe, tomorrow, right? We got a White Sox show tomorrow. So we're excited to talk more about the 2026 White Sox. I will have my first off-season project plan with you. So our 0.1 plan will flesh out who will be here, maybe less of what players will be adding in free agency just yet, but more what players will be here, what players do we think will be fringe players, and we'll try to figure out the base, the foundation of our off-season project plan. Garrett Carlston, you suck. God bless.
There are people pouring into our chat right now.
Show. Yeah, people only come in here to tell us to get off. This is the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. Bye. The Bears will be on soon. Blame Braggs. It's not my fault. Oh, come on. Just end the show.